Oh God, why? Hello, everyone.
I get to watch him suffer.
That's right, folks. About, what would you say, 6 months at this point, probably a bit longer for the viewers ago, Kenny and I tackled Final Fantasy 1. And we're back much sooner than later because I want to get this damn game out of the way. Welcome to Final Fantasy 2, my least favorite game in the series, and I'm going to be saying that a lot.
I'll be honest, I didn't get Final Fantasy 2 until a couple days ago. I think it was like last Monday or something when it was free from the Portal app.
The Portal?
Yeah. Through Portal, and I gotta say, I didn't get very far, and I said, I'm bored as hell. Get me out of here. Because there's no leveling system, which confuses me, and the enemies are super annoying to fight. The encounter rate's actually really high, and I hate that. So,
Yeah. By the way, let's take a look at what's going on here on the PlayStation. Well, first off, like in Final Fantasy 1, this is the PlayStation 1, PlayStation Portable intro movie. And these are our characters. That right there is Firion, or Frianiel, as I've also heard his name is short for or something. He's our main character, meaning he's not going to do much. That's Maria. And that's a Dark Knight about to kill her. And this is Maria's older brother, Leon. Or Leonard, his name is actually, but for character limits, they renamed him Leon. And the fourth guy who've seen all around is, well, Guy. Also, keep an eye on something here. Notice how in this FMV, Leon is left-handed. Keep that in mind for much later.
oh, get destroyed. Get knives in the eye.
Oh, that had to hurt. I'm only mildly inconvenienced.
Those things aren't human.
They're really not. Yeah, but we'll get more into that later. I actually really find the designs in this FMV really odd, because while the Warrior of Light back in the 1 FMV was based off of mono artwork, this is completely only exclusive to the FMV here. Because they don't look like this in the game, they don't look like this in any other concept art I've ever seen. Especially Firion, but then again, Firion just looks weird in a lot of his concept art.
Ask Kefka in Dissidia. Ew! Aren't you hot?
What is with Maria's pants there?
Something happened with that Black Knight. You know.
Yep.
Somehow he turned on his charm and her pants flew off. So.
And, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Final Fantasy II, and this is the last we'll ever see the PlayStation Portable graphics, because now we're going back to the NES version, because I really wanted to torture myself for some reason.
I feel like if you wanted to torture yourself more, you'd play the PSP version.
No, because the PSP version is actually somewhat better. And there's the 8-bits. In a far-off land, a long peace has ended. The Paramikian Empire has summoned Hellspawn in hopes of to rule the world. The people of Phin fought bravely for the kingdom, had lost. Now 4 of Phin's youth must flee to Altea, with the enemy just behind. Some translation notes here. Paramikian is supposed to be Polynesian, Phin is supposed to be spelled Fynn, and Altea is supposed to be Altair, as in like the Assassin's Creed character.
Yeah, because
Altea
is Fire Emblem 1 through 3 because Marth.
Yep. And now we get to name our characters as usual. This is Firion.
Please don't. Are you gonna name? Oh, I thought you were gonna name them something dumb to make fun of the game.
No, because these are actually like this game actually has a story unlike Final Fantasy 1, so I can't deviate from that. This is Leonard. This is Maria. I almost did a 6 reference there, but nah, I'll save that for a good game. And the last person, this guy here is, well, Guy. Although if I recall, in the Origins version, his name is Gus. And, oh god, in a battle immediately. Dark Knights have around 1100 HP? That shouldn't take too terribly long, right?
Not with that attitude.
Nope. I should mention, though, Maria is in the back row there. Enemies cannot physically attack the back row until everyone in your front row is down.
Oh, so that's what that whole deal is. What the heck? That's super weird. Because,
However, once, like I just said, once the front row is all down, after the next round, the back row becomes the front row. Also, Maria has a bow, which is one of the few weapons that can actually attack from the back row. Now, I'm going to say this right now. Coming up here, there's going to be a lot of explanation about what's going on in the game and such. So, I apologize if I end up talking over you, Kenny.
No problem.
Anyway, it seems we've been rescued by these two mysterious individuals.
Any voice acting necessary or probably not?
No, not really. Though I should mention, Min there. His name is actually supposed to be Minwoo. Hilda, I think, is accurate, though.
Hilda is accurate. Yes.
Alright, cool.
No, wait, it's Hidla.
Damn. Don't you mean Hilda?
Probably.
But as you might notice, Firion, in terms of both overworld sprite and back in the battle, highly resembles the fighter from Final Fantasy 1. They got lazy. Though, at least his battle sprite's actually slightly different. He has, like, arm pads or something. But it seems that Leon has mysteriously vanished. But the three of us are still around, so let's see what we can do together.
Uh-oh.
And I love this song.
Me too. I'll
2 soundtrack is actually really good.
Yeah, I was about to say, because even though, like, I got bored of the game's, like, gameplay and the concepts were really, really weird, I gotta say, this game's got a really nice soundtrack for the series.
Yeah, I still think 3 is the best on the NES, but still. Either way,
I like 3's battle theme the most.
Yeah. Either way, coming up here, we've actually got a bit of a weird gameplay element about 2. As we will see as I talk to Hilda again right about now. To advance this game's plot, there's a password system. Go to learn, click on the word, and you'll learn it. You then need to say a password to someone and they'll have mixed responses. Like if we say Wild Rose to Hilda here, she'll say it's the crest of Phin. This is the way you progress plot. It activates certain triggers and such, and you're going to need to do this and pay attention to them, because sometimes that's how they drop various hints about where you have to go. It's actually a surprisingly decent idea for a system. And I'm actually going to be talking to people in this game unlike Final Fantasy 1 because they actually have a bit of plot direction to them. And get over here, guy! Ah, come on. There you are.
Sorry if I end up coughing quite a bit. I'm not feeling very good.
Yeah, you've been going through something for a bit now, if I recall, right?
Yeah, about a week.
Yeah. Now, I could leave the Rebellion HQ, but I'm actually going to head over here to a smaller room where you can find some dialogue. This is the King's room, and for some reason, he's bedridden with some unknown sickness. Now, let's start going over battle stuff and stat stuff as I leave this place. First off, I forget if I show off the stat screen or the equipment screen first, but one thing that this game does, unlike Final Fantasy 1, is that there's actually a left and right hand on your equipment screen. Characters actually have a specific hand dominance. Most of them are right-handed, some are left-handed, though. And you can dual-wield weapons in later versions, but not so much here. Also, we can procure a potion. Yeah, they really chose a weird word there. I don't really use procure much in any certain circumstance. Also, unlike Final Fantasy 1, characters will actually move out of your way if you hug up against them enough. And this is Paul. He's a thief. Not a treasure hunter, a thief.
Oh, Locke.
Anyway, let's go over the stats here. Well, first off, let's go into our equipment and raid every one of their stuff, aside from the shields. Because equipment weighs you down, and in this stat game, your favorite stat to use is generally evade. We'll be going over that in a moment. Though I do actually want to give that broadsword over to Guy, because there's also a weapon system that I'll be going over in a moment, so yeah, I'm going to be talking a lot. Anyway, stat-wise, power is influences your attack and hit percentages. Though, like the black belt in Final Fantasy 1, there is a glitch where you have to remove and re-equip your stuff in case that stats don't update equivalently. The same is with agility. Agility affects your evade percentages. And that is the stat you really want to go for because enemies in this game, while they don't exactly hit hard, they have high accuracies for the most part, so you won't be able to evade them well, so that is a stat to focus on. Vitality influences your HP. Your HP actually increases, not based off an experience system, but by a certain amount, if you lose a certain amount in battle, like if you start with like 30, if you're by like 15 by the end of the battle, you'll likely have an increase in HP, and your HP always increases by your vitality stats. Intelligence is what influences your black magic and the damage percentages of it, and it increases when black magic is used. Soul is the same for white magic, and there is a balance to stats. Say you get an increase in power, your vitality might lower. No, your intelligence might lower. If you use white magic enough, your power might lower. If you use black magic enough, your vitality might lower. So, you want to be able to keep that in mind, because in this game, this isn't a game really where you can have every character do everything. By the start of the game, you want to have an idea where you want to be at the end of the game. Like, you want to have one character be a physical fighter, one character be a white mage, and another character be a black mage. Now, in terms of the weapon skills down there at the bottom, the number on the left is a weapon level, and the number on the right is the weapon experience. Each level is 100 experience points, and each level increases attack number. Each level takes 100 experience to get to max level 16. Each level is determined, experience is determined by the attack numbers in battle, your weapon level, enemy level, which they are actually ranked in this game. And each level ups your hit percentages. Spells work the same way, only a bit faster. Now, shields are interesting, because shields influence your base evade by multiplication. Say you have a shield level of 5%, and it's level 4, that means you get 20% added to your evade. Now, in terms of what I'm putting everyone as, Guy is going to be my physical fighter because he has the highest power. Maria, my black magic, because she has the highest intelligence. And everyone has 10 souls, so that just leaves Firion with white magic. Now, in terms of easily leveling up stats, there is a thing called the Select Cancel trick, where you select a command and then immediately cancel it, similar to the Parry Fight trick from Dragon Warrior 3. And that can be really good for grinding, but I'm not going to be using it. Also, only heal out of battle because that is just the best way to do stuff.
Man. Okay, so, man, I'm so confused because this seems very Fire Emblem-esque with, like, the weapon levels and the fact that, like, RNG, basically, is all about the stat increasing. And there's also a balance. Yeah, and you do want to buy some specific stuff. First off, I'm going to be grinding for gold coming up here. I go for like 1,200 something, I want to say. And in that, I want to buy a Javelin for Firion, a Cane for Maria. I want to buy the Fire spell over Bolt and Ice, and I'll eventually want to get Cure as well for Firion. And the reason you want Bolt and Fire over Bolt and Ice is because there's only really like 2 enemies that Ice is worth using against, and any enemies weak to Bolt in early game are also weak to Fire. So, yeah. Any and all enemies weak to Bolt are weak to Fire, you said?
In early game.
That's weird.
And Fire you really want to use early on because it becomes a really good spell by the end game. Like I said before, magic levels up by experience points. The more you use a spell, the higher level it gets. And there I did some gold grinding. I'm now at just over 1,000.
That was me, basically, with the dog residue and Undertale.
And now I have the Cane and a Buckler for Maria because you're going to want to get shields for everyone. And Cure's gotten some experience points for it. And Fire is already over level 2 because I did a bit more gold grinding than I needed because I already got everything. These are what my stats are looking like right now. Firion got so much power and such that he actually was able to go over 2 hits because hits aren't exactly one and done. Weapon will hit multiple times and whether or not it hits, misses, and such, or criticals even, that determines the outcoming damage. And as you can also see, some guys actually got a weapon level up, so that's going to be really good for their hit percentages later on. And this is the end. The ends work really interestingly in this game. Their cost is entirely dependent on the amount of HP and MP you have lost. An end costs 1 gold for every 4 HP and 1 MP it recovers. So really, as long as you use your spells enough, that's how an end will get pretty costly. I could be explaining this so much better, but I'm stumbling over my words as usual for me, really.
That sounds like a terrible system for an end, in my opinion.
It's actually not too bad. Because MP is usually what degrades the most.
Are you gonna go over the sanctuaries and stuff?
Not really, because I'm not gonna let my characters die much. Anyway, that right there, that guy is Tobal, a hidden blacksmith who's supposedly hiding from the Empire. Though I'd like to note that he's hiding in a weapon shop. Great idea there, blacksmith. And this is Gordon. His brother is actually agent for the rebellion. Who I could be explaining stuff so much better, but I'm kind of half distracted right now because reasons. Either way, with that we can finally actually leave the town. And welcome to the overworld. I love this song. And now we actually want to be heading towards where Gordon was just saying, where his brother was, captured by the Empire. We want to head north and west towards where our town of Phin was, actually. But first we got our first new enemy for the game, a Hornet, not a Goblin. Kind of weird, right? Rank 1 enemy, 6 HP, 3 to 25 gil, and it can actually poison you, so watch out for that. Now, I mentioned that there's a range of gil. The reason for that is that enemies have a bit of a drop table. I think it's like 7 or 8 values of gil and an item. However, the Hornet does not have an item drop. Also, in case I forgot to mention earlier, the way your power goes up and such is by the number of attacks you do in battle. Anyway, Kenny, go right ahead.
Alright, next we have a Leg Eater, rank 1 enemy, 6 HP, 3 to 25 gil in terms of range, and they don't drop any items. Very generic enemies. Although I'm surprised there aren't any goblins here. That's a little sad.
Actually, the goblins are the best way to do gold grinding here in the early game. They are here. It's just the fact I ran into them not first, which is kind of weird. Now, the interesting thing about this game is that weapons actually have weight, which affects your intelligence and soul as well as evade. So you're going to want to be able to keep in mind the int soul penalty, as I like to call it, when you're equipping stuff. So I'll be going for generally more lightweight equipment for my characters so they can have higher intelligence and soul and such. And also, a weird little thing about this game is that the item command is it doesn't go straight to your main inventory. Each character can equip up to 2 items to have for themselves to use. So that's a bit weird. Also, apparently there's some guy dying in a bar in Phin. Let's keep that in mind. Also, it doesn't come into play more later in the part in terms of enemy layouts, but your physical attacks can only hit the 2 front rows of an enemy. So if you're having a battle with more than 4 enemies, you'll only be able to hit the first 2 rows.
That really confused me the first time I played the game, because I was like, why can't I attack the guys in the back? This is so weird. And then that happened.
And here are goblins. Goblins are a rank 1 enemy with 6 HP, and they can drop 6 to 50 gil, which is why they are the best things to hunt in early in the game for gil grinding. Other than that, though, nothing really major. They're actually pretty much the easiest enemy in the game, as they are with every Final Fantasy, aside from 7, where they're fought rather late.
Steal the Zeo Nut, you get the gold chocobo.
Yep. By the way, I love this game's battle theme, but I really hate it at the same time because it really grates on my ears.
I don't really like it that much. I like the Overworld theme.
To each their own. Also, I forgot to mention, the way that you get more MP, you use MP a lot. And I don't like that system. That's the main gripe I have against the battle and leveling system, is that to gain HP and MP, you have to use a certain amount of it. Also, don't go too far north here. You'll enter a different enemy domain, and you'll be getting your ass kicked.
I'll be honest. That's not how I got my first game over. My first game over was talking to the wrong knight in Phin.
Yeah, don't talk to any of the knights here. I think they're called generals. They're more or less the Dark Knight enemies we fought at the very start of the game, only less powerful, and you will die. I can almost guarantee it.
See, I have an experience where, like, an enemy says they're tough. Oh, I can take you on. Well, being cocky got me, kind of bit me in the ass a little.
Yeah. Either way, here's the bar that guy was talking about. Whoa there, don't enter behind the counter. I'd implore you, sir, to let me pass. Wild Rose. The dying guy's actually here. Let's go check that out. How does the Empire not notice this? This is a pretty major basement. Ooh, chests. Damn it. Damn it. Dang it. Potions are pretty useless in this game, I'll be honest. They're better for selling than anything. Because when you take damage in battle, you'll only gain HP if you end at that amount, so you shouldn't really be healing in battle. Also, this guy's dying. This is Scott, Gordon's brother, actually. And And the reason that Finn was taken is because a Duke actually betrayed the rebellion, so now he's a general for the Empire. And this guy's suddenly getting really sentimental. Maria! This is not a time to bring this up! Either way, he's giving us a ring that was going to be his and Hilda's engagement ring, and then he dies. So let's see, that is a death count of 1 so far. Now, the ring is an interesting item because it's essentially the map function from Final Fantasy 1. You press B and select on the overworld, you can access the map. Also, that was me trying to see if I could do it in here. Though if you press select, you can actually access your formation menu. You can't actually rearrange what character is where in the party, but you can at least change their row. And now we're back all the way in Finn for the Rebellion HQ, so we can go talk to Hilda now that we've seen Scott die. Because you can also, in terms of the password system, show characters items in order to progress the plot. And now she knows he's dead. Now, gotta give him credit. There's already more character in this game than there was in Final Fantasy 1.
That was just bland as bread. Plain bread.
Ooh, new password.
Mithril?
So, the reason that Finn is kicking the Rebellion's ass is because they have mithril armor. And we don't. So, we should probably change that. But Min Woo is actually going to come with us, and he's going to give us his canoe as well. But before we do leave, let's actually learn a few new passwords. We can learn Warship from her, which is what the airship is building, and it's even bigger than Cid's airship. Let's learn Airship. Cid, the leader of Finn's White Knights, built the airship. He really put his heart into it. And he's over in Puft, which is actually a very nearby town. And a lot of you might recognize that name. Final Fantasy II was the first game to use a Cid. And they would never, ever stop.
You said that Cid's working for the Empire in this game?
No, he's a good guy. He's a rebellion soldier who is now just using his airship for charter stuff.
Oh, so he's not like the dickish Cid from 12.
Or 13.
I don't know of Cid from 13.
Either way, there's our clue. Our clue on where we get Mithril. It's in the Semite Cave, so let's keep that in mind for later.
Is it that cave that has the enemy territory?
Maybe. I forget what you're talking about. Either way, with that, we're actually done in this town for now, but let's go over what Minwu is like as soon as I press the pause button and not burp. Because I do want to talk to these people. The Empire's warship is being built in Bofsk, and we might be able to take an Eastern Lake, we can cross the Eastern Lake to Palm with a canoe, which Min just gave us. And if Tobal had some Mithril, he can make us some great weapons and armor. And indeed he can, because Mithril stuff is really good in early game. And before we leave, let's actually show that ring over to Gordon. And in case you're wondering why the text is scrolling kind of slowly, it's because I'm actually reading it out to myself so people can read it themselves at a good pace. And apparently Scott once owned a legendary sword made from Mithril, and the warship is completed, the rebellion will be annihilated. Well, that's nice. And from Palm, we can actually take a ship to Puft, and from there we can walk north to Salmondo, which is where Hilda was at. We skipped over it, but Hilda recommended we head over to Salmondo to find Yosef to help us out with some stuff.
What I really like is how Final Fantasy IX actually referenced this story, so I understand at least part of the plot, or at least maybe a subplot, because of 9, with Rama's story.
9 is pretty much nothing but references. Anyway, this is Min. As you can notice, his soul, which is the white magic stat, is beefed out. That's because he's a white wizard. Also, loot these items from his item command, because these will sell for a combined total of like 1,500 or so. But yeah, he's a white wizard. It has a lot of good white magic. Now, I should mention, the way that MP works in this game, because there's actually MP, not MP charges, is that a spell will cost what its level is. If you have a level 1 cure spell, it costs 1 MP. By the way, I'm back here because I forgot to talk to this guy. We need to go to Palm first to get the Salmondo. What was I saying? Okay, a level 1 cure spell will cost, by the way, now we're back in the shop because I want to buy an ice book for later. Not to use as a spell, but to use as an item. Level 1 cure spell will cost 1 MP. A level 7 cure spell will cost 7 MP. And this is our world map. We want to head to that town to our very northeast.
Is it weird that kind of looks like South America?
Not really. Also, a fun fact, while we get the canoe much earlier than we did in Final Fantasy 1, unlike Final Fantasy 1, there's no encounters in the water. At least, not the canoe water. And welcome to, I think this is Poft. Oh no, this is Palm, which is supposed to be Palum, I believe. Now, you can actually use 32 gold, and a ship will actually sail you up to the next town, but I actually want to walk there because experience and such. And while I'm here, I want to buy 3 bronze shields because shields are really good because of that evade increase. Now, I would buy 4, but I could just pass a buckler down to Min. He'll be completely fine because he is really beefed out. In fact, generally speaking, the way I generally look at the 4th party members in this game is that by the time they leave, you should be around their levels. Similar to Final Fantasy Mystic Quest, actually. Let's sell those 2.
When I was playing 12, when I was in the Paramina Rift with Larsa, I wanted to grind at least 10 levels past him. Because that way I knew I would be ready for whatever would be coming. So,
yeah, grinding is a good thing to do in this game, but it's really easy to overgrind. And hey, that's an airship!
I didn't know there was such a thing as overgrinding. Well, over-leveling is a thing, I guess.
Yeah, now we want to actually walk northeast. Like I said, you can pay 32 gold, and that ship right below the town will actually sail you to the next one, but I like fighting. And we got our next enemy. Kenny, take it away.
Alright, now we have a sprinter, rank 1 enemy, 30 HP, which is a big jump from the rest. 3 to 25 gil range, and they don't drop anything.
And the way you really want to take these guys out is with a fire spell. And by this point, my fire's already at level 3, so it's really good. Because they have some pretty good evasion, so hitting them is going to be a bit harder. No, I'm only now realizing it, but they actually animated the water. Huh. Things you don't really pay attention to.
Good job. I'm proud of Square for some of the visual improvements they made in 2.
Yeah, 2 is not a bad game by any means, but they really did do a lot of improvements, and I was so close. Next enemy is a soldier, rank 1, 45 HP, drops 6 to 50 gil, and it can drop a potion, an antidote, an eye drops, or garlic.
Vampires? Are there vampires in this game?
I forget what the garlic does. Either way, like the sprinters, these guys are pretty beefy. They have a lot of HP, so the way to take them out is actually a good fire spell because of that mithril equipment they're wearing. Though I think they can actually drop... no, they actually can't drop mithril stuff. I'm thinking of something later on. Either way, enough swords to the face and a fire spell to the face should take them down. Also, once you get a weapon from Maria, I recommend alternating attacks with her. Fire spell one turn, a cane attack the next turn, because you do want to get her weapon levels up high enough. And heal outside of battle. And now we'll go to the other town. I forget if this is Palm or Pal. There's the two. I forget if this is Poft or Palm. They're so similar named. Hey, this guy has a unique sprite. Well, first talk to this kid. We can actually take a ride on Sid's airship. It'll cost you some money, but you can actually get to a lot of the towns with the game this way. But I'm not gonna do that. And this is Sid. Let's say some stuff to him. And he has no idea what we're talking about. But he thinks the warship is a huge pile of shit. Gotta love fan translations. You're still there, Kenny?
Yes, I'm right here.
I thought you died.
Inside.
Either way, this has been one really beefy part, but with that, we're pretty much done for this part. In between parts, I don't think I really do anything, aside from, you know, get outside. But with that, we're gonna need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 2, we'll actually be progressing on instead of me just explaining a lot and stumbling all over my words a lot. So look forward to that. And Kenny will be here once again because Final Fantasy II is a game I really do not want to tackle alone.
I'll be here for you.
Yeah, but with that, we're going to need to end this off here. Thank you guys for watching, and in part 2, we'll be continuing on, seeing what else we can do in terms of getting Mithril for the army. See you guys then.
Bye.